combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. And yes, I am standing in my local airport and the beautiful Christmas tree. But we are here for another episode of Jimmy Rants, so welcome in, welcome in. JimmyRants.com is the website. If you're brand new to the show, here's how it works. We start off on Instagram Live, so go follow me at Instagram at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN, and then once you're there, you can engage live in the content, just like all of these awesome people that are coming in right now. Thanks for being here, guys. And then you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. Then we pop it over onto YouTube where you can engage in the content there. And then finally we have a Jimmy Rants podcast. Again, all of that, you guys, is housed at JimmyRants.com. So today's Jimmy Rants, I'm standing in an airport for a reason. This is my local airport in Greenville, Spartanburg. And you can see all the stuff going on. The reason I'm standing here is I want to ask the question that is on the minds of everybody that starts eating healthier. Why does airport food have to suck so royally? So if you have to fly at all, which with what I get to do for a living, I fly quite a bit, get to travel all over the country and around the world. And so I'm in a lot of airports, and what I've noticed being in airports is the healthier options are very, very limited. Now, it has gotten better in the past like 4 or 5 years from what it used to be. Used to, it was just all the usual crappy carpet stuff and nothing else. But now they have options that are available for people, but it's still limited. And what I want to know is, why do we still have to have nuts that are roasted in coconut oil? Why can't they make raw nuts more readily available? Why do they not have other options that would be friendly towards keto? And it's a simple solution, and you would think with the popularity of ketogenic diets and real food-based diets that these things would be a lot more ubiquitous. Now, some people will make the argument, well, they're simply giving people what they want, and if people stopped buying it, they would stop selling it. And I get that argument from an economic standpoint, but I think people buy what's there because that's all that's there. And if there were healthier options, perhaps they would choose it. And again, there are especially on the West Coast, a lot of the airports there are starting to carry like kombucha and some other kind of healthier drink options. But here in South Carolina, this airport, at GSP, you're not going to find anything really that healthy here. And that's unfortunate. And so I don't understand from the standpoint of where we are in our culture, people wanting to embrace more real whole foods, them wanting to have better choices for their health. I don't understand why we can't have better choices when we go to the airport. Now, all that said, you know what I do when I go to airports? When I'm actually flying somewhere, I fast. So if it's a very short flight, meaning less than like 4 or 5 hours of a flight, if it's a very short flight, then I will just not eat. Of course, you could have the option of eating before you get on the flight, and that's totally cool too, but then fast for the duration of the flight. The only time that I really eat when it comes to flying is international flights. So if it's going to be a double-digit flight time, then yes, I'm going to have something to eat very likely beforehand. And I know some people that even on international flights, they're able to go the whole time and not eat. But that's how you solve this issue of the food sucking so royally. You take the food out of it if you're going to fast. But if you do choose to fly and you do choose to want to eat, unfortunately, you're kind of stuck right now with having your own options that you bring with you, which is fine. Christine and I do that very often. We bring the Drop-In F-Bomb macadamia nut packets. We bring the Peely nuts. We bring Paleo Valley grass-fed meat sticks. We bring little things with us because for me, when I'm traveling, and if it's a longer flight than just a few hours, the stress of the travel, I actually get hungry. And so to stave off the hunger, you have snacks available because the airports have not done their duty to keep up with the times and to make good options available for flying. So if you notice when you've gone to an airport, you're just like, oh my gosh, is this what I have to pick around? And usually you have to get something like, even if you had like a meat and cheese tray, sometimes they throw in like fruit in there and they throw in crackers, and so you have to kind of pick around. It's really not that good of an option. But I do hope that some young company would pop up and become or have the entrepreneurial spirit and say, you know what, I'm going to make the keto options available for clean eating, real food eating, keto dieters. I want to see that happen. And it would be very easy to do. And it wouldn't even have to be anything real fancy like a restaurant. It could just be like a little kiosk, but would have all of these options available. And of course, some people would also say that the argument is those things tend to be more expensive. Okay, fine. Airport stuff is already expensive, so I don't know how much more expensive it would be. I'm sure there's a lot of equations that would go into that as to why they would charge what they charge. Probably because the airport charges them and that kind of thing. So, but that's a dream, because right now the airport food sucks so royally, and it's time that we do something about it. All right, welcome in. Let's see what you guys have to say. Thanks for being here. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello, hello. Tracy Does Keto says the SLC airport is packed with healthy choices. I was extremely pleasantly surprised. And yeah, like I said, a lot of the bigger airports are starting to get in on the bandwagon. My airport here in Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina tends to be a little less progressive in that way. And so I'm sure it's coming, but man, oh man, how cool would it be to have like a little keto corner that you could go to and get, you know, all the keto stuff that you want. But again, bring your own and you solve that problem. I would too, even on longer flights, I would fast longer. Well, Gerald, I think that's a great option for most of us. The unfortunate thing is the stress of travel does tend to stoke hunger, especially for me. I've noticed that. So I always have backup available, but I do try to fast during the flight. Peanut butter is good, LOL, to bring. I don't eat peanut butter per se because it's a legume and not a nut. A little too much for me. I would do raw almonds before I would do, or raw almond butter before I would do peanut butter. Peely Nuts also have a new Peely Nut butter. Tracy Does Keto, please come to Salt Lake. I would love to meet you. I will give you a tour of the wonder of healthy choices inside Salt Lake City International Airport. It's funny you mentioned that. I was actually invited to speak at an event in Salt Lake City, Utah, but it's at the same time that I had already planned to go to Italy with my wife, Christine. We're going on the trip with Maria Emmerich, and it's in late April, but they're doing a big keto conference that weekend that they had invited me to come speak, and I had to turn it down because we're going to be in Italy. Joshua Winslow, in case I don't get to see another Jimmy Rants, Merry Christmas. I'll be traveling today. Awesome. Thank you for being here. All right, Kaizen Chick, I travel with grass-fed beef sticks, and coffee with cream helps too. Yep. So yeah, just have those little things that you know are your go-tos. You wouldn't eat them on a daily basis per se because you're having your real whole foods at home, but there are foods that travel well. And the ones that I mentioned are our go-tos as well. I do like to have cheese sticks as well, so sometimes you can get like a Colby Jack, a cheddar cheese, or even the mozzarella cheese sticks in an airport, and so that's always an option as well. So if you're just joining us, I am inside my airport in Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I'm here today because I wanted to talk about why airport food sucks so badly. And so I'm asking the question, why does it have to be that way? Why can't we demand as consumers better choices for when we travel? And it's unfortunate because a lot of people, they merely buy whatever's being sold. I wonder if they uprooted all of the crappy garbage out of here and they put in real whole food sources of foods, if they had like cheese and meat, like little platters, and nuts and seeds and other healthier options, would people buy those? I'll contend, yeah, they would. They would buy it because that would be what's available. I think we've fallen into this pattern of we buy what's there, not necessarily because we want it, but that we buy what's there, and it's the choices that are available to us. And people that haven't been enlightened about health, they don't have the barometer in their head to tell them, ooh, this is a better choice than this choice. And so, yeah, I think if the better options were available on a readily basis and without all the crappy garbage everywhere, they would make better choices. Hope you enjoy your Christmas, even though I haven't had it in a few years. I'm thankful for you and Dr. Fung with your info. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, guys, that's what I wanted to share today here live on location in my local airport of Greenville, Spartanburg. And I wanted to share that we can do better when it comes to airport food, right? So thanks for watching Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And if you head on over to JimmyRants.com, you'll see how this works. We start off on Instagram. I do an Instagram live with all these awesome people down here that engaged in the content. So go follow me there at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. And then you can watch it up to 24 hours on replay on Instagram. And then we pop it over onto YouTube so that you can engage in the content there forever and ever. Amen. Got a lot of great fans on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching. And then finally, the Jimmy Rants podcast. If you have not listened to the Jimmy Rants podcast yet, you get the best of the best moments of this here show. And we have a nice little music bed underneath. I really would love it if you enjoy the show, whether you watch it on YouTube, watch it me live on Instagram. Go leave me a review on Apple Podcasts for the Jimmy Rants podcast. I'm getting some great engagement there as well. So thank you so much for being here. I'll be back again real soon with another episode of Jimmy Rants. Take care.